Welcome back to What If. I believe this is the Doctor Strange episode. That's what the title says anyways. I'm very curious to see why Doctor Strange supposedly loses his heart instead of his hands. Like, what event would make him become like a cold, callous villain? Let's find out. As much as I like this intro, I do have to admit it's kind of long.
Can ripple across space and time, giving birth to new stories.
Yes, we have.
Heroes.
I'm only going for dessert. You promised me.
They got them both back. I am very happy. Oh, she was in the car with him, so she dies, and that he has no reason to, you know, be a better person. Okay. That really sucks, though. I don't want her character to die. I'm so nervous because I know what's about to happen. Keep your eyes on the road, man.
Successfully.
We're okay.
No way.
You're okay.
That was a nice little bait and switch right there. Ah, okay, there it is. They got me for like half a second. Oh, wow, they did it exactly like they did in the movie, too. That's cool. Oh, so he doesn't... Like, he doesn't injure his hands at all. Like, the thing that destroys him is her death. And only that. Okay. He learned magic to fix his hands, so is he trying to bring her back to life? Might be able to do that with time travel. What's up, Juan?
We protect.
It was a pretty cool third act of a Marvel movie.
See you try.
Aww, so sad. I mean, with the time stone, it does seem like a pretty simple fix. But we all know it's not that simple.
Well, buck up,
Where is
Strange.
this
You promised me
going?
creme brulee.
Why would you even drive down the same road twice? Like, at that point, I'd be like, we're gonna take a different route. I don't care how long it takes. I'm getting nervous again. I knew it. I knew it. Can't stop it, man. You get to live through it twice. That's fun. Try and try again. It's never gonna work, Doctor Strange.
Evening, handsome.
Oh, that's so sad.
Your chariot awaits.
It's a very tragic take on like Groundhog Day.
We missed our turn. Isn't the bridge that way?
Yep, no, we're not going that way. Still,
No.
she just has a heart attack or something. Like,
Pizza.
so unfair, man. So unfair. Just torturing yourself at this point, man. You're just watching her die over and over again. It's never gonna work.
Including the death of one Dr. Christine Palmer.
Jesus, man.
Palmer, an emergency.
Ah, it's actually really sad. It was very Wolverine of him. Hey,
Good evening, Dr. Strange. Are you having car trouble?
no time for jokes.
Why
Okay.
are you here?
Her death is an absolute point in time. You would never have defeated Dormammu Supreme.
We saw the other Doctor
and the
Strange
Guardian
movie.
of
We
the
know
Eye
that's
of Agamotto.
bullshit.
Libraries destroyed.
Stop torturing yourself, Stephen.
He has some
There is
valid
no
points,
hope.
but yeah, he's just torturing
Christine is
himself at this
gone,
point.
Or I will be forced to stop you.
Oh. Damn, what just happened? I was just gonna say there's probably a lot more. Oh, whoa.
Yeah, it's Armani. I've come here
It's
for
Armani.
Sorcerer Cagliostro.
Sorcerer Armani?
No, it's strange.
Not any stranger.
I feel like...
Power required to
Uh-oh.
break an point
we,
in time.
we know what that book is.
Gain the power through the absorption of other beings.
He'd be he's really willing to do that. Hey, nice little callback to episode 1.
Whoa.
It can shatter your mind. No book, Armani. Life taught me.
Well, I think we're about to witness it happen right before our very eyes.
Maybe O'Bang's right.
No, not a little gnome. Whoa. That's actually kind of fucking terrifying. What the hell? Like, the creature design is cool, but I really don't like this weird body horror-ish stuff that's going on right now.
More.
Yeah, please no more. This is kind of disturbing. Again, the design looks awesome. It makes me very uncomfortable. This is genuinely a little more evil than I thought it was going to be.
He's on the wrong path.
Hello?
Ooh, he actually sensed his presence. That's cool.
Time to meet an old friend.
What? Oh, of course. It's getting weird. It's getting a little too weird. Don't like it. I don't like that. Actually, like, making me sweat. Like, am I the only one who thinks this is, like, really fucked up and creepy? Did not like all of that.
Time, Sorcerer Armani.
Quit calling him Sorcerer Armani.
Remain frozen for centuries.
He's been absorbing creatures for
It's part of the plan.
centuries?
Maybe the other strange will.
What?
Only Doctor Strange in this universe.
How is that possible?
I'm going to start
This is reminding me of Dark now. Like, you know, that moment when the paths diverge. So there's technically two of the same person in that universe. The hell is all this? What is happening?
I drew upon the power of the dark dimension to split the timeline.
Oh, that's what she did there.
More like misguided. If the other strange
I don't know,
succeeds in
feeding
reversing an
on,
absolute
like,
point
different
in our
beings of
universe,
power for centuries, this is pretty evil.
cannot save
It's a
us
little
today.
more than
The
misguided.
resulting
At the very least, to save you.
Aw.
Guardian.
Yeah. You gotta work on your landings, man. I'm guessing he's trapped in that circle. Yeah, alright, so he's trapped. Cool.
Where am I? For we are one and the same.
I'm thinking you're not. Chill out. Doesn't seem very stable, so maybe that's a way to stop him.
We become whole again. We can't save her.
Yeah,
can't.
I'd rather not. Oh, he's gonna try and absorb him. Okay. Fingers crossed that does not happen, because I knew he was gonna do that shit. Oh yes, thank you, Wong. Alright, it's go time. Doctor Strange, you better start doing some cooler shit than that, otherwise he's gonna kick your ass. See, that is disgusting. I don't... Okay, there we go. Go on the offensive a little bit. That's what I'm talking about. Yes! That was such a Spider-Man move. I love it. Oh, hello. Cool. Dude, I love magic fights. They're so much more creative than, like, so many other fight scenes in superhero stuff. Alright, that was pretty cool. I'll admit that. Nice. No! No! That was pretty cool. Very creative way of doing that. Whoa, dude, I love the, like, design of this episode. It's so cool. Shit. I mean, if he loses that protection, he's just gonna try and absorb them, so it's not good. Why are you guys just punching each other? You're sorcerers.
But we must.
No.
So, he's just gonna lose? Well, shit. That fucking sucks. I don't know what to say. It's just as creepy, disturbing, and gross. But now it's, you know, the ultimate... Oh, shit. Whoa. Alrighty then. What the fuck? Again, the visuals are so cool, but, like, what in the hell is going on with him? You just broke the whole damn multiverse. Or universe. I don't know what. You just screwed up bad. Oh, that's cool. That reminds me of WandaVision.
You can stop this.
Same way you fixed Christine.
What?
Wrong.
And events only leads to more destruction.
True.
No!
Honestly, I don't really feel that bad for you. Like, you were warned multiple times. So is he just trapped in that little prison for eternity? It's kind of a fitting punishment for what he did, I suppose, but
One choice, one moment.
that's kind of wild. That's how it ends? What? Well, what can I say? That was pretty screwed up. I think it was a fantastic episode. Very creative, very unconventional, I suppose. And I feel like it shouldn't be a surprise that this episode was surprising as well. Because the way they set it all up, like they literally say, what if he loses his heart instead of his hands? So you know he's going to go down a pretty dark path. But again, the way they actually show it, he still remains a pretty sympathetic character. He looks normal, all the way up until the point when he starts absorbing creatures from different dimensions to take their power. That is the moment it kind of sets in like, oh shit. He's not just like going down a dark path, he's becoming a truly like heinous individual. And as I said during the episode, I despise body horror. It freaks me out to my core. And if you want to get like you could argue this was pretty tame in terms of body horror. Like it wasn't gory or anything super insane. You know, it wasn't The Thing or anything like that. Doesn't change the fact that I don't like that he is literally like pulling other creatures into his body, like assimilating them, like they become like a part of him. I don't like that. Really, really bothers me. I'm so worried that it's going to be some weird shit like that in Shadow and Bone, but I haven't got there yet. But before that, when he was going, you know, having his Groundhog Day moment, just trying again and again and again to save her, but, you know, it's a fixed point in time. There's nothing they could do to change it. I felt his desperation in that moment. I felt like it was a very tragic scene. It's kind of weird, though, that they're like, yeah, no, you can't become Doctor Strange without this happening to you. It's like, well, yeah, you can. Like, we saw the other way it happens. But not in this universe. In this universe, she had to die, and it sent him down a really, really fucked up path. Literally destroyed the entire universe. I thought it was really cool that, you know, the Ancient One hits him with that blast of energy, and you're not really sure what happened there. You find out that she actually split him into, you know, two Stephen Stranges, you know, one that goes down the dark path, one that chooses to accept his loss. And once they reveal that and they seem to flip it and they're like, okay, you've been following the villain, now you're going to follow the hero and watch him defeat the villain. Again, the way they set it up, that is exactly what that moment says. And that is not what happens. Like, they fight for a little while, and it was a really great fight scene. I loved how creative and visually appealing the whole thing was. It started off a little lackluster, and I was getting kind of worried, but then it definitely got a lot better. But in a weird way, it was almost like watching an episode of Invincible or like The Boys, where you really want, you know, the hero to win, you're rooting for him, and they just don't. Like, they cannot beat the enemy that they're fighting, and they lose. And in this case, gets absorbed into his body and then turns into some creepy ass looking monster. Not a fan. Like, I am, it was great, but disgusted me. Like, I did not like seeing him like momentarily transform into like a part dragon or a part bat, or at the end just, you know, an amalgamation of a whole fuckload of things. It was very creepy. It was genuinely kind of disturbing. And then to see the entire universe crumble all around him, like the way it was visualized, so cool, so cool. And I love that the Watcher interacted with him twice in the episode, technically. You know, the first time Doctor Strange is aware of his presence, and then the second time they actually have a conversation. It's clear that the Watcher really is just that, just the Watcher, which is the case in the comics. Like, you know, he does not interfere. Although there are definitely some moments in the comics where he kind of breaks that rule, so we'll see if that happens. It's such a cool way to end the episode too, like in just such a bleak way. You know, the whole universe was destroyed. The hero, Doctor Strange, didn't die, but was assimilated, which in my opinion is worse than death. But our evil Doctor Strange did not die, so if this is not, you know, an anthology series like some people seem to be suggesting, then he might return. I don't know how he's supposed to escape that, but he absorbed creatures for centuries. If anyone has the power to do it, I suppose it would be him. Let's get into the technicals. How fun was the episode? I'm torn on this one. It was amazing to see the visuals and see all the cool things he could do with his magic. But again, all the like absorbing other things into evil Doctor Strange was so weirdly disturbing and gross to me that kind of killed a little bit of the fun factor. I'll give it a 7 out of 10 because, again, the visuals and the really cool things that I got out of this were amazing. And then there's that really disgusting, disturbing stuff that kind of, you know, makes it a little less fun. Importance, I have to give it a 0 out of 10. I'm sorry. Again, there still is nothing that confirms it's not an anthology. You know what? I'll give it a 1 out of 10 because this is the moment. You know what? I'll be even nicer than that. I'll give it a 4 out of 10 because this is a moment where the Watcher actually interacted with a character in the episode and does kind of, you know, tie it into the overall story of the show. How cinematic was it? Definitely getting a 10 out of 10. Again, like the visuals in this episode were incredible. They actually, in my opinion, rivaled what they were able to do in the Doctor Strange movie. To date, I think it's probably the most visually stunning, at least the one sequence where, he's first introduced to the mystic arts is one of the most visually stunning moments in the MCU. And this episode, I would be willing to say it topped it. Like, there were a lot of truly astounding moments to look at. Music-wise, I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. I thought it was very, very good. Definitely amplified the horror aspects of, certain parts of the episode. And just the crescendo of all this different music happening in the climax of the episode, and then followed by the much more tragic score because he just screwed up the entire universe. I thought it was quite good. Effects, I'm also going to give it a 10 out of 10 because the animation in this episode was just astounding. And I know for sure, especially in this one, a very large portion had to have been special effects, especially any of like the symbols that were glowing. There's no way that was like hand animated or anything. Costumes and sets, given another 10 out of 10 because there were quite a few design choices in this episode that were so cool. Again, as much as I hated the body horror stuff and absorbing people, the creatures that, he was summoning were very cool to look at. And then the weird hybrid, strange creature mashup, as much as I didn't like it, it looked really cool. And I can only imagine, the artist sitting there thinking ooh, how are we going to do, Dragon Doctor Strange and more creepy tentacle Doctor Strange and, all these different versions of this one character consuming so much power. Design-wise, this episode was phenomenal. Acting in the episode, I'm a little torn on this one too because Benedict Cumberbatch, I think, performed very well during certain moments and not as well during others. The moment when he, screams to the sky after he realizes, he's just not strong enough to bring her back. I didn't think he did a very good job right there, to be honest. But then later in the episode, when he's playing, the two different sides of himself, I thought he was delivering a much better performance in that instance. So I don't think it was a flawless performance, but the really good moments, really shined. So I'll do an 8 out of 10. Pacing of this episode was kind of weird, to be honest, because you have the setup, which is pretty close to the setup of the actual Doctor Strange movie. They rush through what happens in that movie real quick and, like a montage. But then they go through a very long sequence of, the Groundhog Day moment, and then show Strange's descent into utter madness. But then they do a weird shift where they're actually there's two of them, and then they switch you over to the hero side before they meet up, have a battle, the hero loses, and then the episode ends on a huge downer. It's a fast-paced episode, but it is kind of bouncing around a lot. Maybe not in a bad way, but I feel like it wasn't, as cohesive as it could be. So I'll give it another 8 out of 10 for that. And that gives this episode an 8.3 out of 10. Thus far, this is definitely my favorite episode, which might sound weird because of all the, disturbing stuff that happened in it that I wasn't a fan of. But I thought it was the most creative. I thought it was the most dark first episode to make you question and wonder what the Watcher is actually capable of, because he clearly can interact with these people if he chooses to. And the episode just had me completely engaged and hooked on the premise of Doctor Strange becoming evil. So yeah, I think out of the 4 so far, this is the best one. And I cannot wait to see what they have next week. I think I heard somewhere that next week might be the Tony Stark episode with him and Killmonger. I have no idea what they're even going to do with that storyline. That seems like such a dramatic change. I don't even know where a baseline for it would begin. So I'm curious to find out. I will see you all then. And that's about it.